So this is the vision. Um, so the black part right there, or like at the top, is going to kind of mimic her usual crop top. Um, I'm going to dye that part black, and I'm going to put rivets or grommets or uh, eyelets or whatever they're called in that area, and then put like the ties. Um, the hood is going to look like her shark hood in the final battle, and I'm going to dye all these parts purple, like these parts like the sleeves and the bottom half and the hood. And then on the, what is that? That's the left arm. I'm going to put her cloud tattoos and stuff, and then on the bottom of that part, I'm going to put like her monkey graffiti, and I'm going to try to make the pocket blue, but I'm not sure if I can get that done. And then I'm also going to put like her teal graffiti, and I'm going to make, again, the hood look like the shark hood that she wore in the final battle with like the pink eye and the swirly thing. And yes, this is my vision. I hope it turns out well. Okay, so I am starting with a plain white hoodie. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like seam rip the hood off and then the arms and cut it in half. And yeah, we're gonna do that. And I'm sorry I can't really film all that for you because I do not have a proper setup right now or anything, so you're just gonna have to trust the process on this. I am sorry for the blank parts. Alright, so we got everything like all cut up and seam ripped, and I tried to take off the pocket part, but that was just too hard, so it's gonna be the same color as the bottom. And then I'm gonna prepare it for the dye. Here I am showing everything off. And yeah, so what I'm gonna do, there goes the sleeve. Yeah, so the dye. We'll get to that now. This is bad. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so now we're preparing for the dye bath. That one's for the black and that one's for the purple. I have some salt and laundry detergent in there to help the dye soak in. Ignore the blue stuff in the one for the black dye. I'm also doing a customized hoodie for one of my friends. So yeah, I'm just preparing some hot water, and I have all the stuff that I need. I have the RIT dye, I have the detergent and the salt, which is supposed to help it, and I'm okay if it turns out a little patchy because I feel like that's more jinxy, and I'm going to start with that metal spoon. Okay, so I have purple all-purpose dye and black synthetic dye. I forgot that I bought two different kinds of dyes, but I'm going to, do purple in one, black in the other. I might put a little bit of black in the purple to give it a richer color, and we'll just see how it turns out. Alright, both are in their hot water with dye, the purple, the black. I actually didn't, and here I am starring it. I'm okay with some like cross contamination, I guess, again, because I think it would kind of look cool if it were a little patchy and like uneven, because that seems very Jinx-esque. But yeah, so stir, 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 stir. I'm going to leave it in there for like 24 hours to get like a rich, vibrant color. And then I put in actually a little bit of brown dye with the purple to give it like a richer, more depth color. I felt like that would be better than just plain black. And yeah, we will check on this in like 24 hours and see how it turns out. Alright, here we are like 6-ish hours later. I've rinsed out the dye and I've thrown them in the laundry to wash, and then I'll dry them. I know I said I was going to sit for 24, but I got bored and impatient, so here we go. Alright, so I was wondering how I was gonna get like the ties for the like cross thing Jinx has, and then I realized I could use the string from the hoodie that I bought because I didn't use it in any of the other dyeing. So I put it in some hot water with like half a cap of brown dye, and I'm just gonna stir it for like 10 minutes and see how it turns out. And here's how it turned out. It looks like a tapeworm. I think 10 minutes was a little bit too long, but I'm hoping it'll lighten up once I put it through the wash and it dries and stuff. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's good enough. I can have a tapeworm on my chest. Alright, so here is how everything turned out after the wash and drying. The purple is light, but I do kind of like the color. I might try to re-dye it though. The tapeworm is looking a lot better too. So yeah, I do kind of enjoy how the purple turned out, but I might want to try it again. The black did not turn out. Those were the dark blue sleeves that I had tried to dye. And there is the black top that I tried to dye. It's more gray than black and a little too patchy for my liking. So I think I'm just going to try to dye it all again. Alright, here we have a new set of dye baths. We have the black and the purple. What I did was I just finished up both, put the rest of the black in the black and put the rest of the purple in the purple. And then I split the rest of my brown dye between the two of them to try to give it like a richer, warmer, darker kind of vibe thing going on. So we will, this time I'll actually leave it overnight and see how it works. So yeah, we'll check back in later. And here we are in the cold light of morning with the dye baths that have been soaking all night. So yeah, I rinsed them out again and I put them in the wash and we'll see how they turn out this time. Also, I think it's funny I said cold light of morning. I did. I woke up at like 7:30 a.m. to check on them. Not intentionally, it just happened. And then I didn't upload this to my computer until like almost 1 p.m. Actually, it's 11 a.m., but my computer is set to a different time. Yeah. So yeah, I did like just get the stuff in the wash at like 11:30 a.m. for me. So, yeah. Hopefully they'll turn out darker this time and look better. And sorry if you can hear background noises. My washing machine is running and my upstairs neighbors are doing renovations or something. Alright, so here are all the purple parts. I think they turned out like darker and better than they did before with like the richer, warmer color, so I'm happy with them. We're going to be done with those now. Alright, so the black part just keeps coming out, this dark gray. I can't get it to seem to go black. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to get a black sweatshirt, cut that up, and use that part, and then do something else with this part, because I just can't get the dye to stick to this one the way I want it to. So I figured out I could just use fabric paint to make the pocket blue like I wanted it to be. And the reason why it is so long between these two clips, like the painting and the dyeing process, like what I just showed you, is because it was my birthday, yay! And I just went to do stuff with some friends. Oh, would you look at that, it's blue now. I'm gonna need to do another layer or two on this, and there's some stains, and it's a little messy, but again, it's a Jinx inspired hoodie, so it wouldn't be Jinx if it weren't messy. Okay, so I seam ripped all of the, well, first I cut it in half, and then I seam ripped off the hood and the sleeves to the black hoodie, and I have some pink and blue parachute cording that I cut into a length I desired, stitched them together, melted the ends, well, melted both ends first, then stitched them together so they don't fray, and we put that through the hood. And now I have stitched the bottom purple part to the top black part, and now you can see I've stitched them all together. I used different colors threads. I used blue there. I used like that same teal in the middle, and I put the cords on opposing sides, and I put pink on that sleeve, just because those are kind of the colors that are all associated with Jinx. And yeah, I'm gonna put the cross thingy there, like the ties, like the X thing, and yeah, we'll just keep going from there. And then as you can see, I colored some stripes onto the bottom half, like her pants. I just used a fabric marker for this. Just kind of drew them on. I'm going to do the back side too, but actually, as it turns out, I ran out of ink in that marker, so I'm not going to fully do the back side. Alright, so I just wanted to do a little supplies update. As you can see, I cut the felt into teeth shapes. I got some fabric stiffener for the felt, just to make sure it doesn't like fall apart on me. So I'm going to use that and then attach them to the hood. I got some neon graffiti fabric markers. The purple one I used for the stripes on Jinx's hoodie bottom half, kind of like her stripy pants. I got those little gear embellishment thingies because Jinx is sort of a mechanic, and I thought that would be a fun motif to add maybe to the waistband and the cuffs of the sleeves. I got a different type of string because I didn't like the way the one turned out that I dyed. It turned out too dark and too pinkish. And then I got some gold fabric paint just to add some fine details, again, to the stripes like her pants, and then some white fabric paint because I realized that the markers won't show up on dark fabric, so I'm going to paint my initial design and then go over it with marker. It's not really fabric paint, it's multi-purpose paint because they were out of white fabric paint. Alright, we are in the final stretch. As you can see, I have outlined the different stripes with gold, and yeah, it really does look like a half-eaten circus tent. That enforcer was right. Then here, you can see, I missed a spot. It's okay, I easily fixed it. I just went back in with the paint, and painted it, but it was kind of funny to notice that after I had taken the video. So here we are, next day, I think, couple hours later. Here I've done both sides, but as you can see, like I said, I ran out of ink in that one purple paint pen, so half of them are blank, but it's fine. The front is done. I stiffened the felt with fabric stiffener and then pinned them and glued them with Gorilla Hot Glue, and then I'll add the decorative stitching and actual stitching to them later. And then I'm just going to add the rivets and the tie thingy, and yeah, I think we'll be done. Oh, and the paint details. Whoops, forgot about that. Alright, here we are continuing. Sorry that took so long. ADHD is crazy. Alright, so here I am prepping to put in the eyelets. I have placed them where I want to place them, and then I will cut small holes with those little shears right there at the bottom. And then I will attach them with the hammer. And here they are. Once they've been at least set up, I cut a little hole into the black fabric and just sort of shoved them through, and then put the other ring on the other side, and then I had to wait for my roommate to wake up and give me the hammer because she keeps the toolbox in her room. And then to do this, you take this little short bit and you put it on the underside of the fabric, and then you take this part of the tool and you insert it into that, and then you hammer it, and then you have an eyelet. And here we are sometime later, with all of that hammered into place. It's not perfect, but you know, it's fine. And then here I am with the ties to make it look like Jinx's top. And then we just have to add some minor details, and we are good to go. Hello, everybody. So it has been several months later. Listen, I have a lot going on, okay? Anyways, it has been months and months and months later. It's June now, so now I have no reason for a hoodie. But yeah, it's mostly done. It's as done as it's gonna get for now, you know? I still need to do, like, the paint details, and I still need to sew on those little gears that I wanted to sew on. But I have no reason to wear a hoodie right now, because it's June, but sometimes it does snow here in June. Anyways, it's as complete as it's gonna get. I will finish it eventually, you know? I'm sorry this took so long. It did not mean to take so long. I'm just really bad at being a YouTuber. Anyways, so yeah. I think it's cute. I like it. The fabric stiffener did not stay on in the wash, which is kind of a bummer, but you know what? It's felt. It's pretty stiff already. So yeah, this is my Jinx hoodie. I think it's cute. I like it. I know I need to like finish up the minor details and stuff, but overall, it is completed. Enjoy. If you liked this video, you know, like and subscribe and all that bullshit.